Here are today's headlines. The Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police hailed the increase in the basic pay of uniformed personnel. Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio declines to participate in the impeachment proceedings against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. 18 people fall ill after eating halo-halo with spoiled milk in Maguindanao. And the UN Security Council welcomes renewed dialogue between North and South Korea. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police welcome President Rodrigo Duterte's approval of increasing the base pay of uniformed personnel. Both agencies vowed to improve their service in return for their added benefits. Here is our report.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines expressed its gratitude to President Rodrigo Duterte for authorizing the increase of the base pay of all troops. AFP spokesperson Colonel Edward Arevalo said soldiers are grateful to their Commander-in-Chief for recognizing the sacrifices faced by the military service and his concern for the welfare of uniformed members and their families. The pay increase for all AFP personnel was contained under Congress Joint Resolution Number 1, which was signed by the Chief Executive last January 1. Arevalo stressed that the country's soldiers remain committed to their sworn duties with or without the pay increase. The Philippine National Police, meanwhile, vowed to reciprocate their pay hike with better service to the public. PNP spokesperson Chief Superintendent Jonardo Carlos said that the increase in pay showed that the government valued the sacrifices made by the police and other uniformed services in performance of their duties. Under the new monthly base pay, which becomes effective this January, a police officer 1 or PO1 will be receiving about 100% increase in base pay. There will be an average increase of 58.70% for all other ranks. The increase in base pay will also increase other allowances which are granted as a percentage of the base pay. The hazard pay shall also be fixed at 540 pesos per month. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
The Senate is set to resume hearings on charter change next week. Senators are expected to decide on voting a change in the Constitution following plans to tackle federalism. Here is our report.
The Senate would resume hearings on the proposed revision of the 1987 Constitution on January 17, Wednesday. Senator Francis Pangilinan, chair of the Senate Committee on Constitutional Amendments and Revision of Codes, said that the Senate would tackle 3 bills on amending the Constitution. Pangilinan said that he would want to find out if there was really a need to amend the Constitution, which provisions would be changed, and why. He also wanted to know if the revisions should be done through a constituent assembly or a constitutional convention. Pangilinan said that they must settle whether voting should be done by the Senate and House of Representatives jointly or separately, and whether Congress could pass a resolution limiting the power of the CONAS or CONCON. Expected to attend the hearing are Constitution experts, members of the academe, business sector, labor, civil society, and other concerned stakeholders. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Bench Bondo.
The Office of the Solicitor General slammed the petition of militant lawmakers before the Supreme Court to halt the implementation of tax reform for Acceleration and Inclusion or TRAIN Act. Solicitor General Jose Calida said that citing lack of quorum of Congress as basis to nullify the law is a flimsy excuse. Makabayan Bloc Representatives Antonio Tino, Carlos Zarate, and Ariel Casilao said the tax reform law should be declared unconstitutional. The petitioners said the law was invalid since there was no quorum. They urged the High Court to issue a temporary restraining order on the law, which took effect on January 1. They also claim that the TRAIN, which slashes personal income rates while raising additional revenues for infrastructure and social services, would not be beneficial to the public. They said the new excise taxes and its broader value-added tax will hit poor and low-income earners. The TRAIN is the first package of the government's proposed comprehensive tax reform program, which is seen to generate additional revenue to fund the country's investment requirements. Former Palawan Governor Joel Reyes filed indirect contempt charges against presidential spokesperson Harry Roque in connection with the clearing of murder charges with the killing of environmentalist and broadcaster Jerry Ortega. In his petition before the Court of Appeals, Reyes said Roque's attacks on the court were unwarranted. He said that while Roque claimed to speak on a personal capacity, his criticism of the decision may influence the public and even the courts. Roque was quoted in the media calling the decision as alarming and a travesty of justice. He was also quoted accusing the CA Special Division of overruling the Supreme Court. Reyes said Roque's statement was a veiled threat for the court to decide in favor of the government. Malacanang earlier said it would do everything to reverse the CA's decision clearing Reyes on the Ortega murder case. The former governor was freed from Palawan City Jail after the CA found no basis for the Palawan Regional Trial Court to order his arrest or convict him for Ortega's death. The Bureau of Customs will conduct its own investigation on the smuggled rice worth 120 million pesos seized in Zamboanga, Sibugay by the Philippine Coast Guard. Customs Commissioner Isidro La Peña said they will investigate the origin of the smuggled rice, the sender, and the consignee if it is intended for consumption in the Philippines. The smuggled rice was officially turned over to the BOC by PCG Captain Ronnie Hill Gavan and witnessed by Port of Zamboanga District Collector Darwisha Shuk and other officials. The rice were found loaded to a local cargo ship, MV Fia, which was docked on Licum Banks in Zamboanga. The ship and its cargo were apprehended after the captain failed to show safety certificates, shipping documents, and import permits. It was believed that the ship came from Vietnam and transferred the illegal cargo in Sulu. The owner of the ship and the cargo will face smuggling charges. Still to come, Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio declines to participate in the impeachment proceedings against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. A business group donates school buildings in Baguio City. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Nakumpleto na ng 2,615 internally displaced persons mula sa Marawi City sa mga home-based community at mga evacuation centers sa Iligan City at Lanao del Norte ang programang pagsasanay para sa Work Scholarship ng Technical Education and Skills Development Authority o TESDA, ang Massive Skills Training Program. Para sa karagdagang tulong sa mga IDP graduates ng programa ng pagsasanay, ang mga toolkit tulad ng oven, multitester, screwdriver at welding machine ay ipinamahagi. Ayon kay Tarhata Mapandi, Officer in Charge ng TESDA Region 10 at Lanao del Norte Provincial Director, mas mahusay na sila ngayon at nakikita nila na may pag-asa pa, may kumpiyansa na rin at hindi gaya ng dati. Tinitiyak din ni Mapandi na mayroong higit pang mga programa na ibibigay sa mga IDP tulad ng Special Training for Employment Program. Sa wikang Maranao ay nagpadala ng mensahe ng kanyang pagbati sa pamamagitan ng isang video si TESDA Director General Secretary Giling A. Mamundyong na naghihikayat sa mga nagtapos na IDP na gamitin ang kaalaman sa kanilang nakamit para sa pagpapabuti ng kanilang buhay. Ang Department of Social Welfare and Development o DSWD ay nagbigay din ng 5,000 piso na pre-employment assistance sa IDP graduates ng carpentry, serbisyo sa computer, paggawa ng damit, pagmamaneho, pagpapanatili ng instalasyon ng elektrisidad, paggawa ng tubo, plastering concrete masonry, shield metal arc welding, at paggugupit ng buhok. Ito ay upang tulungan sila sa pagsunod sa mga dokumentong kinakailangan para sa kanilang mga trabaho. Samantala, ang mga graduado ng pagluluto at pagpoproseso ng pagkain ay bubuo ng asosasyon at bibigyan ng tulong pinansyal sa pamamagitan ng Seed Capital Fund. Nakipagsosyo rin ang TESDA sa 22 paaralan para sa pagsasanay. Si Alex Muhammad na nagtrabaho bilang switchyard operator sa National Power Corporation ay nakumpleto ang pagsasanay sa electrical na instalasyon. Sinabi niya na ang pagsasanay ay nagpalakas sa kanyang moral, makakatulong ito sa kanya na makamit ang kanyang mga pagsisikap. Si Nisa Oding na sumailalim sa pagsasanay sa pagpoproseso ng pagkain, ay nagpapasalamat na ang programa ay nagbigay sa kanila ng kaginhawaan habang nakalimutan nila ang tungkol sa krisis. Para sa Bayan, Sweet Lukman, Philippine Information Agency.
Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio denied knowledge about the issues against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno as he declined the invitation to attend her impeachment proceedings. Here is our report.
Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio declined the invitation of the House Committee on Justice for him to attend the impeachment proceedings against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno set for Monday. Carpio said he has no personal knowledge of the issues regarding the impeachment complaint filed by lawyer Lorenzo Gadon against Sereno. The House Justice Committee wants Carpio to testify on the allegation that the Chief Justice falsified the temporary restraining order of the Supreme Court in the case of Senior Citizens Party List versus the Commission on Elections. Carpio also said he was on wellness leave on June 19, 2017, the day when the request of the Department of Justice to transfer the Maute cases from Mindanao to Manila was raffled off to a justice. The senior magistrate also said he does not know anything about the allegation that Sereno made it appear that several justices requested that they do away with the voting for the recommendees to the Supreme Court. Regarding Sereno's alleged hiring of an IT consultant with excessive compensation without public bidding, Carpio said he only knew about such matter after the consultancy contract was questioned. Apart from Carpio, the committee also invited several other magistrates of the SC, Sandigan Bayan, Court of Appeals, trial court judges, and other officials and employees of the judiciary. Earlier, Sereno's camp slammed the testimonies of the SC magistrates who appeared before the House Justice Committee's hearing on the impeachment proceeding filed against her. Lawyer Jojo Lacanilao, one of Sereno's spokespersons, said the testimonies of the magistrates were purely based on personal opinions and could not be used as grounds to remove her from the judiciary staff post. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Philaine Cervantes.
The Davao City Investment and Promotion Center, or DCIPC, recorded 270 billion pesos worth of total capitalization of investments in Davao City last year. DCIPC Chief Lemuel Oltornio said the total capitalization indicated an increase from 230 billion in 2016. Ortonio said there were 40,400 registered establishments in the city. He attributed the increase to the city's improved streamlined business processing system, investor confidence, better peace and order situation, and President Duterte, who continues to draw investors to Davao City. Ortonio is bullish on increasing the trend this year, banking on the continued interest for some non-Davao companies to move here. He projected a 5% increase based on the average growth in the past 5 years starting 2012 to 2016. DCIPC also identified possible needs of the city, such as more medical facilities as possible areas for investments. Even with a good projection in 2018, Ortonio said the city will continue reaching out to possible markets. 6 schools in the city have formally received the deed of donation for school buildings with 2 classrooms each from the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Councilor Edgar Avila said the donations were from Chinese businessman Chi Jian Li, Ambassador Carlos Chan, Oishi and DIY Marketing Corporation, and Paul Lalwani. He said that the schools were built at no cost to the government but with contribution from residents. The 6 buildings were finished in 6 months' time. Dr. Lily Lim, Federation Executive Director and Vice Chairman of the Committee on Information and Media Affairs, said their donations are under their Barrio School project and that had already donated more than 10,000 classrooms nationwide. Baguio City School Superintendent Dr. Federico Martin meanwhile said with the 12 additional classrooms, there is no longer a deficiency in the number of classrooms in the city for the elementary level. He, however, admitted that they will still need additional classrooms for senior high school. Festivities for the 453rd Fiesta Señor celebration kicked off early Thursday morning. Thousands of Señor Santo Niño devotees joined the 2-kilometer penitential walk with Jesus from the Puente Osmeña Circle to the Basilica Menores del Santo Niño. Police Regional Office 7 Director Jose Mario Espino supervised the security of the procession together with Sinulog 2018 Executive Committee Chairman Councilor Dave Tumula. The Cebu City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office said the participants were estimated to reach 80,000. Father Pacifico Nohara Jr., Basilica Rector and overall chairman of the 2018 Fiesta celebration, exhorted devotees to spread their devotion to the child Jesus to others during the first Novena Mass. Meanwhile, no untoward incident was reported except for some devotees who fainted and had breathing difficulty during the procession and the Mass. No security threat so far has also been monitored. 18 people in Maguindanao were hospitalized after eating halo-halo, which was prepared with a suspected spoiled milk. Dr. Elizabeth Samama, chief of Buluan District Hospital in Buluan, Maguindanao, said all the 18 residents who sought medical attention from the town hospital here had been discharged. Samama said the patients claimed they ate halo-halo from a roadside refreshment parlor in Barangay Poblacion. Hours after taking the snack, the customers complained of severe stomach disorders and vomiting. All 18 patients bought the food from the same vendor who was not identified in the report. The patients have decided not to press charges against the vendor. Samama advised those engaged in food preparation to ensure and observe hygiene to avoid cases of food poisoning. Up next, the UN Security Council welcomes renewed dialogue between North and South Korea. Housewives in Baguio City create export-quality handicrafts from recycled junk food wrappers. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns. The government aims to reach out to Filipinos through various information channels with the Provincial Communication Officers Network or PCONet. Communications Assistant Secretary Ana Maria Paz Banaag said the government hopes to build a network with local government units, government agencies, and information officers. Banaag and Director 3 Princess Duque met with more than 50 information officers in Negros Occidental Wednesday for the 10th leg of the PCO Net launch. PCOO officials also met with Governor Alfredo Marañon Jr. and Provincial Information Office Head Karen Dinsay. The Presidential Communications Operations Office aims to bring news and information from Malacanang to the LGUs, schools, and private institutions to ensure that the policies and plans of the Duterte administration are communicated to every Filipino. Banaag said the PCO Net was a way for the PCOO and for Malacanang to bring the government in Metro Manila closer to the provinces. The UN Security Council on Wednesday welcomed the latest interactions on the Korean Peninsula. Kazakh ambassador to the United Nations, Kairat Umarov, said dialogue between the two states can open possibilities for confidence and trust building to reduce tensions. The Council expressed hope that such interactions would lead to the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Despite the positive development, the Council would not budge on sanctions against North Korea for its nuclear weapon and ballistic missile programs. North Korea and South Korea on Tuesday started high-level talks, the first in about 2 years. A joint press release said North Korea had agreed to send a delegation to the 2018 Winter Olympics to kick off in February in Pyeongchang, South Korea, and the 2018 Paralympics in March. Seoul and Pyongyang also agreed to hold a separate dialogue between their military authorities. North Korea also reopened a military hotline with South Korea across the western border. At least 17 people have been killed in the Southern California mudslides caused by a winter storm which destroyed at least 100 homes. In Santa Barbara County, 3 people were rescued, but they also discovered 2 more bodies, raising the death count to 17. Hundreds of firefighters and others were still hunting through the mud and wreckage. Authorities said about 75% of the devastated area had been searched. Dozens of people had been rescued and another 13 were missing in the county. The U.S. Coast Guard had used helicopters to rescue people from rooftops. Strong winter storm on Monday hammered Southern California on the U.S. West Coast with heavy downpours, triggering deadly mud flows before dawn on Tuesday. Some housewives in Baguio are mastering the craft of turning junk food wrappers into export-quality handicrafts. They aim to turn craft making with recyclable materials into a profitable venture. Here is our report.
Who would have thought that products made of junk food in plastic wrappers will make it in the export market? Junk food wrappers that are cleaned, dried under the sun, cut and woven like banig products are skillfully woven by housewives to maximize their free time in the comfort of their own homes. Starting out in 2015, selling their products during the Session Road in Bloom of the Baguio Flower Festival 3 years ago, mothers who are contracted to make the bags are now exporters through Just Project Biotechnology. Owner Joseph Medez said they thought of coming up with an innovative and fashionable way of recycling waste products. He said they prefer housewives to do the job because of their skills. They also want to enjoy even while inside the house and provide productivity to mothers who want additional income for their families. Through Just Project Biotechnology, some housewives export to South Korea, France, Taiwan, and Europe, and now target Germany as market of the product. Among the items they make are all kinds and sizes of bags, placemats, keychains, purse, wallet, laptop bags, coaster, and many more. Locally, the price is from 80 pesos and up, depending on the item and size. They also customize bags depending on the client's preference, which may cost 1,500 pesos. Asked about their advantage compared to their competitors, Medis said that materials are patented. They created their own design, and this is what makes them stand out among other export businesses. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country.
Tourist arrivals in Davao City in 2017 had surpassed the local government's target. Records at the Davao City Tourism Operations Office showed that a total of 2,009,879 tourists arrived in the city between January to December last year. Domestic tourists still dominated the figure with 1.8 million. Foreign tourist arrival data also showed a slight increase last year with 126,209 compared to the 2016 record of 124,863. The biggest increase was noted in August 2017 in time for the Kadayawan Festival at 185,660 compared to the August 2016 figure of 171,851. The number of balikbayans also went up to 47,872 compared to the 2016 figure. Generosa Texon, chief of the Tourism Operations Office, credited the increase in tourist arrivals to the strong partnership between the local government and the private and public sectors. She also underscored the role of the security forces and the city government's private industry partners in making Davao City attractive to tourists, noting that the city is still under martial law. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Giselle Danganan.
Heavy rains and thunderstorms spawned by the tail end of a cold front caused flooding incidents and landslide early Friday. In Naga and Camarines Sur, Mayor John Bongat said continuous heavy downpour since Thursday evening has flooded 70% of the city, with floodwaters reaching waist deep, particularly in Calawag village. A total of 300 families were safely transferred to Naga's evacuation center. Classes in all levels in public and private schools were suspended. In the neighboring town of Margarao, floodwaters submerged several houses in the village of Santa Lucia, where a road widening project is ongoing. Margarao Mayor Philip Salvador Sr. said they will send the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, a formal letter of complaint from the residents. Meanwhile, 3 persons were hurt when a truck they were riding was hit by landslide Friday morning at the circumferential road in Barangay Sagrada in Viga, Catanduanes. The 3 sustained multiple injuries and were rushed to the Viga District Hospital for treatment. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
Here's another look at today's headlines. The Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police hailed the increase in the basic pay of uniformed personnel. Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio declines to participate in the impeachment proceedings against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. 18 people fall ill after eating halo-halo with spoiled milk in Maguindanao. And the UN Security Council welcomes renewed dialogue between North and South Korea. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm William Theo. Good day.